Well, it didn't start off great, but it certainly ended with a bang. The Oilers 8-3 winners over the Buffalo Sabres. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Oil Stream post-game show, live on location at Hudson's White Avenue, where it got a little busy, which is nice to see. Shout out to Corey B. and VR Montenegro for coming out tonight, and some nasties making their way with some nice comments on the way out. As we always have a good time at either Hudson's White, where we are tonight, or Hudson's Bourbon Street, where we were on Tuesday. Let's get into this 8-3 Oilers win. Join the conversation. If you're watching on our EST YouTube channel, please like, share, and subscribe. We would appreciate that. And on your way into the show, hit the thumbs up button if you don't mind, please, and thank you. And if you're listening, whether it's on our audio stream via our Edmonton Sports Talk website or perhaps on iHeartRadio and the TuneIn app, you can text us 780-218-9999. I want to hear your thoughts on Edmonton's 8-3 victory over the Buffalo Sabres. YouTube Trev back at the EST HQ, and Matt Kassian will be joining us a little bit later on to help break down Edmonton's win to make it 2 straight victories as they wrap up a 4-game homestand. I love this location. It's old school. It's an old building. It's on White Avenue. It's right on at the hot corner of White Ave. There's a couple of them, obviously. Billiards Club, what used to be Billiards Clubs and Squires, down that way. And then this one, you got this new thing by MKT, which used to be the old Iron Horse. And there's like this shipping container thing. And then you've got the old Strat back there. So it is a hot corner indeed, and a lot of people popping in, having a good time watching the game tonight. Big thank you to the staff here at Hudson's as well. They're fantastic. They really are, whether you're here on White Ave or at the Bourbon Street location. All right, let's get into the scoring summary and game stats from this one. Again, if you're just joining us, text us 780-218-9999 or get into the nasty chat. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind. We would certainly appreciate that. In the first period, I alluded to it off the top. Not a great start for the Oilers. JJ Peterka, minute 38 in, the third shot that Stuart Skinner faced. It beats him. Peterka's 22nd from Tuck and Thompson busted coverage, soft coverage in front. And the Sabres take advantage. Then it was Victor Olofsson at 16:34, his 7th of the season, to make it 2-0 Buffalo from Bowen Byram and Rusek. So that wasn't pretty by any means from an Oilers standpoint. However, just over 2 minutes later, the Oil would cut that lead in half on the power play. Leon Draisaitl, his 35th goal of the season. I like it. He bounced out from the goal line to the bumper spot, and then Nugent Hopkins with the quick little dish to Draisaitl, and it trickles past Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen for Draisaitl's 35th. Evan Bouchard, the secondary assist to make it a 2-1 game going into the middle frame. That's where Edmonton started to tilt the ice in this game. The Sabres did push back, and Edmonton started to lean on them. Matthias Ekholm would tie it up, his 6th of the season from McDavid and Bouchard. Give Bouchard 52 assists, McDavid 83 at 426 on the snapshot. Nice play there, and a great play indeed by the Viking. Then JJ Peterka would score his 2nd of the night, 23rd of the year from Connor Clifton. The German makes it 3-2 Buffalo at 16:56. Peterka, I did not like that goal. I would put it more so on Skinner. Before it got to Skinner, though, bad clearing attempt. Nobody home when we saw Cody Ceci rim it around, and then Ceci try to get a stick on Peterka. No winger on the half wall, and then again, Peterka gets a soft shot that gets under the pad of Skinner. Did not like it. Doesn't matter. 3-2 Buffalo at that point. However, Zach Hyman at 19:12 would make it 3-3, his 47th goal of the season from Ekholm and McDavid. Was it a high stick? No, hit him on the glove and then bounced past Luukkonen, and we had a 3-3 game going into the third. However, Edmonton was starting to feel good. You could sense the momentum shifting like I was talking about. And in the third period, Edmonton does not look back. It was just all Oilers. 4:38 into that third period. Darnell Nurse gets his 9th of the year. Troy Stetcher, 5th assist of the season, picking up a helper. Nice to see there. The D pair getting in on the offensive action, giving Edmonton the 4-3 lead. Then Matthias Ekholm, 7th of the season, 2nd of the night from Draisaitl and McDavid at 5:40. So shortly after the Nurse goal, it's Ekholm with his 7th. A great feed by Draisaitl. Nice play by McDavid to get things going, breaking into the zone. And Ekholm, a 2-goal night. Speaking of 2-goal nights, Zach Hyman would add his 2nd of the night, 48th of the season from McDavid and Draisaitl to make it 6-3 for the Oilers at 15-18. Absolutely wonderful shot by Zach Hyman. What if, I saw the tweets, I saw it all on X, I saw Tenser say, what if Hyman gets that goal on Saturday night in Toronto? I'm talking about his 50th. Could he do it? I hope so. What a story that would be. They gave up on Hyman, chose to sign someone else, put their money and allocate it elsewhere. Edmonton said, please, come over to the Oilers. We'll give you $5 million a year. We'll give you 7 years. Come score some goals for us. And he's doing that in a big way, his 48th of the season. All right, to add insult to injury, Ryan McLeod would snap home his 12th of the season at 16:58, 7-3 Oil. They weren't done there because with 9 seconds left, it was Connor Brown scoring his 2nd of the season. He's on fire from Carrick and Ceci at 19:51. The final 8-3 Oilers. Shots on goal 39-29 in favor of Edmonton. Faceoffs 57.9% to 42.1 in favor of the Oilers. The Oil go 1 for 2 on the power play, 3 for 3 on the PK. You like to see that. Hits 32-28 in favor of Edmonton. Block shots 20-18 in favor of Buffalo. Giveaways 9 for the Oilers, 5 for the Sabres. Takeaways 12 for Edmonton, 8 for Buffalo. At the end of the night, it's 2 points. It's an 8-3 win as we welcome in our game analyst, Matt Kassian. Cass, like I said, if you looked at that first period, you're like, uh-oh, this might not be so good. Second period, much better. Third period, game, set, and match. What stood out to you tonight?
Well, it was like the slow train rolling. Slow start. It really took their time getting going, and then they just pick it up in the third and start playing like we know they're capable of playing, and just absolutely stomp on poor Buffalo. It actually reminds me a lot. I was in Saskatoon last week and went to watch the Saskatoon Blades play the Moose Jaw Warriors in Saskatoon, one of the better or maybe the best team in the WHL, and Moose Jaw no slouch either.
Right.
However, the game played out pretty much the same, where it was kind of tight, a little back and forth. Moose Jaw was in it until the third period, and then Saskatoon just stepped on the gas, and that was it.
Yeah.
And really, that's what we saw here tonight. Edmonton, a few mistakes, a little sloppy, not executing at their best, and then they just stayed with it, kept the pressure on. The Buffalo Sabres, I thought, started throwing pucks away with the pressure, and I think it came after Edmonton started to have some sustained pressure in the second period, started to build up their confidence, that possession time in the offensive zone. Buffalo threw some pucks away, and then, Edmonton just decided to take over, and when they really did, it was no contest at that point.
Yeah. Perhaps the game we wanted to see as a whole collectively from an Oilers team that has been pretty good for the majority of the season outside the first 5 weeks in Buffalo on the 9th cast that we didn't see, right? Like, it almost felt like this was going to be another one of those games. Do you think that instinct is right? Because Buffalo was right there. And I was saying VR Montenegro and Corey B were here, and we're sitting here watching the game. And I'm like, guys, like, Edmonton has 2 wins in his last 6 at home against Buffalo. They don't really play against the Sabres that well. We're seeing it again tonight. It felt like it was leaning that way for a good chunk of the night until maybe midway through the second.
Yeah, no, it really did. I kind of was, I don't want to say I was nervous, but I was kind of like, I don't really feel good about this and about the way that they're playing. And especially when Buffalo re-got the lead again, I was like, oh man, this could be it. Like, this could be it. This is, where Buffalo just kind of takes over and Edmonton falls apart. But they didn't. And credit to Edmonton for bouncing back. Edmonton's defenseman did a really good job today on the offensive side of the puck, jumping in. At times almost a little bit too much. I think there was the one shift where it was, I think it was Nurse and Stetcher basically led the rush, and you're kind of like, well, that's odd. Like that.
Why is that?
Probably shouldn't happen.
Right.
But Edmonton's defenseman jumping into the play offensively really helped to generate some offense. And yeah, I mean, I just overall summary of it, Tommy, I agree with you. It did until the middle of that hockey game really feel like it was going to be Buffalo's night just because they hung around so long. But again, credit to Edmonton. They flipped the switch and they put the puck in the net, finally started to beat Ukko-Pekka and
Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, pardon me.
Luukkonen.
He's a very good goalie, I have to say.
Oh, he still played really well too.
Yeah.
Couple saves in that first period that were pretty solid saves. Like he I thought was really good. It looks a lot worse for him than it was.
Yeah.
I think overall, like that third period doesn't reflect the rest of his game. I mean, what Edmonton only gave up 4 shots. Was it only 4 at the end of the day in the
third period? I'll double check that for you so we have the stat. I don't want to get it wrong. 5 in the third. Ultimately.
5. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, puck was in the end. The Buffalo's end the whole period, really, aside from like that power play. So yeah, it looks bad for him. But it wasn't his fault.
No. Young goaltender that's really establishing himself as a premier starter, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and the Oilers get him for 8 tonight. Before we get into text 780-218-9999 and into the nasty chat, I want your thoughts from our listeners and our viewers, certainly, like we always do. If Cass were to nitpick this game, because I'm sure there are some out there that will, and that's the nature of this market, and that's absolutely fine. There's knowledgeable hockey people in this market. Are we looking at the start of the Oilers game against this Buffalo team and going, a little bit worried there, or do we consider, Cass, this is a Buffalo team, 5 points back of Detroit, going into action tonight, desperate, trying to keep slim playoff hopes alive, knowing they beat the Oilers, knowing that they're capable of giving Edmonton a run or frustrating Edmonton? Like, where's the balance there, in your opinion?
Yeah, well, I mean, the nitpicking, if we're going to, and we should, maybe nitpicking isn't the right word even, but if we're going to evaluate.
Deep dive.
If we're going to deep dive, or if we're going to critique or say, okay, what could have been better? Great third period. What could have been better? Yeah, their start could have been a heck of a lot better. Yes. Knowing that you were going up against the Buffalo team that's against the ropes, and even more so against the ropes now. They don't have enough time left. They're playing desperate. They're playing with some urgency, and the Edmonton Oilers didn't. It just wasn't clean. Mm-hmm. It wasn't clean. They were at the start of the game. I thought they were pretty scrambly in the defensive zone. A lot of running around. You had the one goal where Bouchard was up by the blue line for the 15 seconds before the goal, and you're kind of like, Why
are you up there?
I don't know.
What are you doing?
I don't know. And well, the tough thing in that, Connor McDavid makes a poor read on that play because he doesn't recognize that Bouchard is way out there. So he leaves the front of the net when really he just needs to hold. Like if he recognizes the, dangers in front of the net, Bouchard is nowhere to be found. Just hold the front of the net. Mm-hmm. But you're not expecting a guy who probably wasn't even looking for him. He probably thought that was a winger up there. But I just say all that to say that I think they were sloppy again at the start of the game in the defensive zone. Now, is that mental preparedness? Maybe. But yeah, if they're going to clean up something, Tom, that's, I don't want to say they were, their start wasn't necessarily overly slow against the Montreal Canadiens, but they weren't great right out of the gate. Granted, they weren't great for the entirety of the game. But yeah, they started slow today, and it really, Tommy, truly just about cost them being down a couple goals.
Yeah. Ultimately, it did not. Even when Buffalo made it 3-2 in the second period, Edmonton storms back with a ton of goals, of 5 in the third period alone. 8-3 is the final in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. Let's get to the inbox now, 780-218-9999. And then, of course, via the nasty chat, let us know your thoughts if you're watching on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, as we continue to climb our way towards 8,000 viewers and subscribers on YouTube. You know we appreciate you so very, very much. We're going to start with Bad Billy via the inbox. Bad Billy says, wave attempt started at 6:50 to go in the third from section 210. Not happy about it. Not happy, but that was actually Nolan who sent that in. Bad Billy says, hey, Tommy, very good win, boys. We're a bit flat in the first, but pretty much took over in the second and a great third. Thought Skinner made some nice saves, but could have stopped at least one of the three. McDavid, fire emojis. 4 of them. Hyman, 3 fire emojis. Dry, 2 fire emojis. That pass by Stetcher to Nurse was so fast across that goal. Need more of those. Put 2 in the bank, says Bad Billy. Randy. Oh, here we go, Randy. All right, I didn't get to Randy last game, Cass. I apologize, Randy. I'm gonna read these. Here we go. Randy asks, says, I'm interested in hearing from someone not on the Oilers broadcast why that Hyman goal wasn't challenged. Was that not off his hand? Please, no biased opinion from the Oilers broadcasters. I'm honestly confused that wasn't challenged as it looked directly off his hand. Never mind, forgot the Oilers are the best team in the NHL in history, so it's a useless question. Bet the mortgage while you still get plus odds. Randy, Cass, do you want to go in?
Yeah, really easy, Randy. Actually, really, really easy. And unbiased explanation. It can bounce off your hand. You can't swat it in.
Right.
Like if it deflects off your hand, that's fine. Like if you're standing there and it bounces off your hand and goes in, that's okay. It's similar to the kicking motion. Like it can bounce off your hand. You can't steer it in intentionally, like punch it in with your hand. So, he was trying to tip it. It bounces off his hand and goes in.
Yeah.
So it's a good goal.
I at first thought, that's going to get called back, high stick. And then, it bounced off his hand. Cass, thank you for the explanation. Randy, I apologize for not getting to your text last game. And Cass had the answer there. So thank you as always. The Juice says, more like Ukko-Pekka Huukkonen. All right, the Juice with that one. North Side Sandwich says, as much as people are going to talk about the offense picking the game up late in the game, I think more focus needs to be Skinner locking it down after letting in a couple of weak goals. That's from North Side Sandwich, or as I like to say, or the Italians say, Sandwich. Cass, do you want to touch on that? Skinner's game getting better as the team's game did get better as well?
Yeah, I mean, I know I heard you say earlier, but I don't think that second goal was that bad.
I hated it.
Really?
The Paterka second goal?
Like the one where CC got his stick in there?
Yeah.
I didn't think that was that on Skinner anyways. I didn't think that was that horrible. I mean, CC does what he's supposed to do and challenge a shot, get a stick on it, and it just completely changes direction and with just enough. Now, I get where some people didn't like it and it's fine to disagree. I didn't think it was I didn't think it was horrible. It wasn't great, it wasn't horrible. But yes, Stuart Skinner after that really did he cleaned it up. A couple dicey ventures out of the net. At times, one or two where they were a little bit sketchy, but overall, he really settled in. I thought he did a good job of controlling rebounds after that. Like he swallowed up quite a bit, didn't leave a lot sitting out in front of him to cut down on some of those second opportunities. So yeah, I mean he steadied out. We should have traded him. We should have traded him just like everybody wanted to.
Okay. I'll say that I still think that Skinner, like I know there was the change up in speed. I would have liked to have seen, because when it dribbles under the pad like that, I always go, ooh, natural. It doesn't matter if it's just Skinner or if it's someone else, but that's my instinct. And I respect and understand that there's a bit of a change up there and it's tough to adjust on the fly and things are happening super fast. I do, Cass, however, prefer when a goaltender's game improves as the night goes on as opposed to deteriorates.
Well, yeah.
You saw that tonight. That to me is the more important thing.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. Because you run out of time when it deteriorates towards the end. Now the other way, at least you can work into it, but it was kind of indicative of the Oilers game as a whole, for Stuart Skinner too, where it's just, it wasn't great at the start. It took some time to build that momentum up. And when they did, they were rolling. Not like he really got tested much in the third. But in the second period, particularly later in the second period, was just able to stay solid, was able to make the saves. Again, I thought he swallowed up pucks, didn't leave a lot sitting in front of him. And Yeah, his game improved as the night went on.
780-218-9999. If you're listening on your way home from the rink, hit us up. Tell me your thoughts. How is it in the building tonight? We'd love to hear from you. And then if you're watching on YouTube, the nasty chat going strong as usual. I'm going to get to this one from Chris from Fort Mac and then C Mac. And then I'll go into the nasty chat here. If you have any questions or concerns that you want to float to Cass, bounce some thoughts off of him, send those our way. Chris from Fort Mac says, McDavid smashes the minus 128 puck line on the over 1.5 points, 1.5 points. Brown scores another goal. What a third period. C-Mac says, start of the game, they were cup pretenders. End of the game, they were cup contenders. They know when to turn it on. Let's go. Also, that number 14 guy with the beard, he's pretty good at hockey. Thank you, C-Mac. Yes, we agree. Really quickly, Cass, who is the better sniper, Austin the GOAT or Connor the Sniper? Brown, joking, of course. You can't stop Brown. Who are you upgrading him to now, TG? Haha, just kidding. I'm still going to leave him at Michael Pekka. I'm not downgrading him back to Peter Klima just yet because that's another goal for Connor Brown, and he still has not reached the depths of Toby Peterson, who did score in the playoffs for the Oilers in 06. And the texter adds, don't look now, but McDavid's only 6 back of the scoring lead. Crazy to think of how he was injured and started slow. The guy should have said more like Ukka Pekka Luusinen. Great text there. Stack them up. Let's see what's going on in the nasty chat. Cass, have been you yelling at people in the nasty chat?
Always.
What's going on there?
It's always. You've been called like a pale baby-faced child because of the lighting, which
yeah, I changed it.
Yeah, but so I've been yelling at people about that, which is disappointing. People are talking about you going to some county place because you're wearing plaid. And then beyond that, people are actually they're actually pretty happy.
Nice.
They're actually pretty happy, which of course you're happy. The Edmonton Oilers just won 8-3. There's been a lot of chatter that has kind of turned towards that McDavid conversation. Danon, says McDavid, 4 assists for McDavid tonight. He's going to make 100 assists. Oh, the assists I added in there,
yes,
for sure. Someone, I think it was Mike Smith, that was also asked, and we answered that already, how far McDavid away is from the Art Ross. He is currently 6 back. Tommy, he could still do it. What do you think?
I think he's going to do it. I genuinely am starting to truly believe that he has focused solely on becoming the 4th player in all-time history to reach 100 assists in a season. I think it's Gretzky, Lemieux, and Orr who have done it. And now McDavid is in hot pursuit, and I think he'll get there with a good chunk of games remaining. And now he's at, 85 assists on the season. I'm just going to double-check that really quickly just to be sure, because he had a few tonight. Yeah, McDavid, 85, 86. I need to correct myself. So 14 to go. The Oilers playing in game 67 tonight. Lots of time to make it happen. I feel like he will. Dusty's in the nasty chat, says, lighting looks great, Tommy. That face is perfect. Thank you, Dusty. And in honor of Dusty, Cook County is just a few paces down to the south of this fine building. I've always had a great time at Cook County. I look like I could fit right in there right now. And I know Dusty has a phenomenal experience every time he visits Cook County. 780-218-9999. Dirty Curdy's in. Dirty Curdy says, Viking is a man possessed. Burn the boats. Atif says, I didn't make it to the game tonight because I had to work. I saw the 3rd period. Congratulations to Connor Brown scoring his 2nd of the season. Hyman is 48. Hyman will get 50 on Saturday versus his old team, the Leaves. Cass, what a story that would be.
Oh,
wouldn't you say?
Oh, that'd be amazing. And I can't remember who it was, but it was brilliant, and it made me smile, and it made me laugh. Well, not laugh out loud. I was laughing in my head because we were on the show. I didn't just want to start giggling. But how amazing would it be if Hyman gets his 50th in Toronto, and it's an empty netter,
dude,
and he takes a slap shot, like winds up.
Don't even start with that.
Takes the big clapper on an empty net for his 50th. How unbelievable would that be? How unbelievable. Like, I mean, right now, Zach Hyman's already turning himself into a legend in this city. Can you imagine if he did that against Toronto? Can you imagine? Crazy. Oh,
I think honestly, Cass, those are great stories. And people joke about the NFL script writers, like all of that's obviously hogwash. But like hockey and pro sports in general has a way of working itself out like this. I think this guy is going to be a man alive on Saturday in Toronto, his hometown. They let him walk from his hometown team just as his career was continuing to build. Like, give us a little insight as a former player, Cass, when you have that motivation, not just another game, and you're on the cusp of something as special as 50 goals for the first time.
Money on the board. I mean, like it's money on the board. Yeah, I mean, listen, you've seen it, and you see it sometimes in games where players are on the cusp of like a milestone, and it won't surprise me if it's like power play or just in general. Like if it's a 2-on-1 and it's McDavid and Hyman, puck's going to Hyman.
Right.
If it's Draisaitl and Hyman, puck's going to Hyman. Like whoever. It's like people will be trying to feed him for that because guys know, even if you're not talking about it in the room before games, like when it's a guy's hometown.
Yes.
Because you see the ticket list. You see the money on the board. That for Zach Hyman that he played in Toronto. There's a very we know that. And if we know that, they know that doubly as much as we do. So for them, I mean, yeah. Hey, I mean that probably even is really probably part of the pregame chatter before the game. Before you go in is like, hey,
we're getting
let's play one tonight. Let's get Hyman to 50. Like, let's put up another 8 in these guys and blow them out and get Hyman to 50 so we can do it in his hometown. Take their 2 points, take their beer, and the old saying would have been, something else after that. I'm not saying it. I'm not going there. But,
all right, fine.
But you do the Viking thing and you pillage the points, right?
Yes.
And that's what you want. And you want your teammates in those big moments. You want to get there for them. You want to celebrate with them. You want to be a part of it. So they're going to be absolutely feeding Hyman if possible on Saturday. And I'm just, Tommy, I'm here for it. I am here for it.
I will literally be here for it at Hudson's White Avenue as we're going to have our listener watch party on location. We get going 3:30 p.m. with the pregame show. The whole crew from EST will be on hand. Cass, I'm running low on GCs. I text our EST glue guy, Jay Milne, and Jay is getting more of these bad boys from the fine folks at Hudson's that we're going to have available for our friends that come and join us for the watch party Saturday afternoon as the Oilers and the Leafs go toe-to-toe and Zach Hyman pursues his 50th goal of the season. It is the Oil Stream post-game show. Edmonton 8-3 winners over the Buffalo Sabres. Gazzola and Cassian with you alongside YouTube Trev. And we'll get into more of your texts and more of your comments on the Nasty Chat. Nasty Chat, I'm looking. Mike Smith says, editor and Leaf is the one who said the Hyman contract will go down as one of the worst in history ever. I have the screenshot somewhere. Yeah, did not go over well. Did not go over well at all. That was a tweet that did not last. And great signing by the Oilers in Zach Hyman. What else do we got here? Dusty was a pretty good expletive disturber the other night. Yes, absolutely. VR Montenegro, who stopped by, said just a rum tonight, saving Honey Dill for Saturday. And Zedmo says, Cass, you're the best poop disturber out there. I like that.
My moments. I have my moments, and I see toxic texts. Josh sliding in, taking a break from raising triplets that are almost moved out of the house now. I still feel for you, buddy. That's a lot. That's a lot. Zedmo, Cass has a burner account where he impersonates Gager. I should. I should. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. Do you, I don't know if I've ever told this story. I mean, this is completely off topic. But if we're going into the whole burner account thing,
go into it.
Do you remember the Boring Sean Monahan account?
Yes, I do. Okay,
so I'm pretty sure I'm very certain I know who started that, and I'm pretty sure I'm the reason.
Why is that?
Because I started one for Jim O'Brien back in Ottawa, and we went and I told, like, I started a Twitter for him.
Yep.
And I went and I told the team services,
Chris Moore?
Huh?
Chris Moore?
No, it was Jordan, like so not your
Oh,
media guy.
not
So it's
PR.
Jordan.
Okay.
Jordan
Okay.
was
Okay. Yeah.
and so I told Jordan, I'm like, hey, like this is me. So if he comes to you and like complains and tries to get Twitter to shut this thing down, just let it run.
Nice.
And so we had this going, and what I had everyone do is I'm like, hey, if you're with him and you're out, like snap a picture of him doing stuff. Like and it got different guys to do it.
Yeah.
And so I'd get different people to like send. So it was he never could pick down, like he knew it wasn't him. And the whole thing started because he looked like a guy from Big Brother, like
Yes.
the reality show. And so we used that picture on there. And Jimmy had Obi had a big nose. And so everything was about like smelling and like smelling food and different sort of things. It just drove him absolutely nuts. And we ran it for like half a season. And we got like a couple thousand followers on there. He tried to get it shut down. You know, Jordan kept telling him like, yeah, we asked Twitter. They say they're going to shut it down. They say they're going to shut it down, like to placate. And he was getting so mad. And, you know, at our team year-end party, that's when we told him, and I fessed up to it. But there's one of the guys on the team that was really close with one of the guys on the Flames.
Yeah.
Because it was his best friend. And I'm pretty sure that's who ran it, but like the boring Sean Monahan. But yeah, that was the only burner account I have ever owned was for. I actually think the account might still be up there for Jim O'Brien. So
I'm looking at Jim O'Brien. I do not remember him at all. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't recall Jim O'Brien.
I'm
looking at his stats.
Guy. Awesome dude.
You're right about the nose. Played 77 NHL games between Ottawa, New Jersey, and then another stint with Ottawa, and then wrapped things up in 19 and 20 with the Thomas Sabo Ice Tigers in Nuremberg. So interesting. Played for Seattle in the Dub, University of Minnesota in NCAA. He's a big guy, Cass, 6'3". And I don't remember Jim O'Brien. That is brilliant. And I love that it maybe spawned boring Sean Monahan. You are a poop disturber, and I love it.
You know what? The thing about being a poop disturber in that regard is you generally don't want to take credit for it. Like you just kind of do it, and you have to be content with not seeing the outcome and with not claiming it and just basically getting it blamed on somebody else. That's the best thing to do. That is the best thing to do.
I love it. 780-218-9999 or Nasty Chat. Edmonton wins it 8-3 over the Buffalo Sabres. Gazzola and Cassian with YouTube Trev as we roll along here. All right, Cass, we're going to get to some audio and video right away from the Oilers locker room. Before we do that and before we say goodbye to you for the evening, your thoughts and how the Oilers try to prepare for their next matchup in Toronto to kick off a road trip, and maybe we see Zach Hyman pick up that 50th goal of the season for the first time in his career, which would be great to see. What do you think the prep will be like going into a big game Saturday?
Well, the first thing you do is you practice your slap shots on empty nets. Let's make sure you do that. Get that out of the way early.
Check.
Just in case.
Gotcha.
Just in case.
Gotcha.
But hey, you know, Toronto is a team. You have some high power offense. You know, Austin Matthews can score goals. He is the best goal scorer in the league currently.
Yes.
For as much as we want that to be Zach Hyman, it is still Austin Matthews in terms of pure goal scoring ability. You know, they have the offensive punch that can hurt you. So, you know, for what you're focusing on, you want to make sure that you don't have a start then like you did today, because you can't against better teams that maybe have a little bit more offensive punch. You run into a lot more trouble.
It's not going to
work. Can't be scrambling in your defensive zone. So it really is going to be cleaning up that. Clean up your defensive zone, clean up the start of the game. And just, hey, that third period feeling, if you can get to that momentum without having to go through the first period and a half, that's what you want to be. Now Toronto's going to be looking at this, and they're going to be looking at Edmonton and going, they're a really high-powered offensive team. Yeah. So they're going to be really focused on cleaning up their defensive zone as well, which is why, you know, we've seen at times the last number of years when Edmonton has played Toronto, it's ended up being a little bit of a lower scoring game than you think going in with the offensive capacity of both teams. But both teams fighting for playoff position. Yeah, I mean, Tommy, it has potential to be a great game. It has potential to be a lot of fun, and has potential for Zach Hyman to get to 50, which is awesome.
I can't wait to see what happens. We're going to be here on location at Hudson's White Avenue. Cass, are you coming by? I know you want to make it out for one or two of these.
I do not know yet for Saturday. I have to look at the kids' schedule. I have no idea, but I do want to make it out, and I promise I will make it out at some point.
Hey, how were the girls tonight? I know you had all three of them, and Mandy was off
They were
tonight.
good, yeah. Well, I had to run them. I had to rip them over to swimming lessons and then back home to watch the game. So it was just get to swimming lessons, get them in the pool, get them out of the pool, get them dry, get home, watch some hockey. So it was good. They had fun.
Mission accomplished from your point of view. Mission accomplished from an Oilers standpoint. Cass, fantastic as always, my friend. I will catch up with you on Saturday.
Thanks so much, buddy. Look forward to it. Zach Hyman gets 50. Calling it now.
He called it. That is our game analyst, Matt Kassian, breaking down the Oilers' 8-3 victory over the Buffalo Sabres. Text us 780-218-9999 or via the nasty chat. I do want to tell everybody that portions of this hour brought to you by the fine folks over at Edmonton's Best Rock, 100.3 The Bear. Check out Dusty with Yukon Jack and Scott McCord every weekday morning. And on your way home, tune in to Jess Jackson, our good friend. She's the best. Every weekday afternoon. That is our good crew over at 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's Best Rock, and our dear friends. All right, let's get to YouTube. Trev, what's going on, pal? I'm feeling like you're pretty satisfied with what you watched tonight. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Where are you? There you are.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Oh,
there you are.
Look at you, buddy.
Look at that.
Yeah, man. No, I mean, what a great game to watch. Sorry, I want to say sorry to the Nasties at the beginning of the show. I got the score wrong because there's 20 seconds left, and I'm like, okay, I got to get the show up and running here. And I seen the Nasty chat like, oh, man, Connor Brown's on a serious heater. I'm like, what's going on here? I don't know what they're talking about. And then next thing I know, I missed Connor Brown's second goal of the season. So kind of upset about that. But yeah, all around, what a game. There's not a lot to nitpick at this one, Tommy. It was just extremely satisfying from the defense to the offense. I really thought all lines were kind of, they were clicking. They were looking really good. Yeah. But man, like, in particular, the defense tonight, Tommy. I thought Darnell Nurse in his last few games has just looked awesome. He did one really slick play, and I'm like, is that Darnell Nurse? He's not shying away from skating the puck. If it was behind the net, and he can fly. He really can. And so It was. Man, it was just it's so nice to see. I think him and Troy Stetcher are actually clicking really, really well, and it's only been 2 games now. So who knows? So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But I mean, Matthias Ekholm, right? Like probably his best game. You could argue as an Oiler, maybe right. The last game he played,
pretty good.
But tonight, I mean. Wow, it was just incredible to watch. Like he looks so good. His him and Bush are just really reading off of each other. He's making great decisions. From the rush. And credit to all the defense. They were joining the rush, but it wasn't burning them. They weren't cheating. It came. The opportunities were there, so they took it. And I mean that his second goal, Matthias Ekholm. I mean, they don't get any prettier than that. Just so satisfying to see. So. Yeah, I'm really satisfied. It was a great win. You can't really be too mad after an 8-3 dub tonight. The Oilers certainly brought it. It took a while, but I mean, just all around, what a great game.
First period, a little bit dicey, and then the rest of the way, Trev, I think I'd agree wholeheartedly with you in terms of an Oilers concise, smart, better, improving as the game went on type of night. I'll get to Nurse and Stetcher stats for you. I'm going to save Ekholm and Bouchard for after we hear from Ekholm. Nurse tonight, 1 goal, +1, 3 shots, 8 hits, 20-48 time on ice. Stetcher tonight, 1 assist, +1, 2 hits, 15-04 time on ice. All right, let's go into the Oilers locker room. I'll let Trev pick who we hear from first.
Speaking of the Devil, let's hear from the Viking. Another unbelievable performance by him tonight. Let's hear from Matthias Ekholm.
Third period that you guys kind of really leaned into it. What do you think changed things there for you?
Yeah, I actually really liked the second period too. If you look at the first, I didn't love it. We got in, we had a nice chat about it, and got out and showed what kind of team we are. And I thought, even though the second was still a pretty decently even period. I liked our intensity. I liked our checking better. And then obviously in the third we took over. You know, when you get that lead to go, which was huge, they're going to start cheating a little bit and opens up the game. And that's kind of what happened. We scored a couple of rushes, so maybe it got out of hand more than it should have or would have. But it did now, and it's kudos to us.
You talked about having a little chat. What's said in there? What were you kind of wanting to address?
No, it's just we all know now it's about to get to crunch time, and we can't lean into games and just sit there and wait. And I just didn't like the first, and we all realized that. I think we have a pretty mature team in here, and everybody understands when we play good and bad, but sometimes it needs to be said. And yeah, whatever was said, I'll keep in-house.
That move on your first goal, is that something you had in your back pocket for a while?
No, I don't know. I was surprised I got on a 2-on-1, and then I was up with Kaner, and he got kind of taken away, so I figured I'll try to find a hole, and got it through the D-man, and the goalie was surprised, so yeah, we'll take it.
In the second goal, the setup by Leon.
Yeah, I was served on a golden platter there, right? I mean, you can't ask for more than that. So obviously the shot was good as well, but the setup was unbelievable.
Are you jumping up to the plate more?
I don't know. I mean, last week I was sick that one game, and it made me actually get 5 days off, which is, with the schedule we've had, is kind of unheard of. So my legs feel really well, and I feel like I'm reading the plays well right now, and I take my time, or I take my chances jumping up. Hopefully it won't be it's at the, I guess, cost of defense or goals against, but as long as we keep playing a sound game and keeping it forward, there's no reason why not.
Looking ahead, you guys got Toronto on Saturday. Zach's got 48 goals. To go back into Toronto, maybe get 50. Is that something you guys have thought about at all, or is that something maybe you'll think about on the flight?
No, I have not thought about that. It's great to see him score. I love that for him. I think he's an unbelievable guy, and he's been doing so well all year, whether he gets 50 on Saturday or whenever. I don't really care. I just hope that he gets there because he's deserved it all year.
You mentioned how it's getting close to crunch time. Did you feel a game like this was good to kind of work out some kinks and know that you have a little bit more to kind of work out as the next 15 games kind of?
I guess time will tell, but yeah, I've liked the first period to be better, absolutely. But I did love the response that we had, and hopefully we, as I said earlier, we have a mature group in here, and usually we know when we play good or bad, and lessons hopefully learned from that first, and that we don't have to go back there. But I'm sure there's going to be games where you have a little bit of a dip, but hopefully not a lack of checking or effort.
All right, there is the silky smooth talking and most of the time playing defenseman Matthias Ekholm, and I said I'd get to his stats because they were pretty damn good. Tonight, you heard him talking about both of his goals. Tonight, 3-point night for Ekholm, 2 goals, an assist, +2, 5 shots, 2 hits, 21:49 time on ice. His D partner, Evan Bouchard, 2 assists, +3, 3 shots, 23:53 time on ice. I was talking about this old building on the corner of 109th and White Avenue. Everybody being courteous and stomping the snow off of their shoes and their boots on their way in to warm up and have a bite to eat and maybe a beverage or two. We're on location, Hudson's White Avenue. All right, YouTube Trev, where to next, big guy?
With his 4 points tonight, 4 apples for Connor McDavid, he now has over 3 points on every team in the NHL. So kind of a neat stat there, but here is Connor McDavid.
Ekholm jumping into the rush, making a couple of big plays, scoring some nice goals.
He was great. I thought he was great the other night too. He's been great for us ever since he's been here, and especially this run of play. I think he's played. His game's even gone up a little bit.
Connor, your team is 9-1-2 in its last 12 games. I know you guys aren't satisfied, but how encouraging is it to see this team producing those kinds of results this late in the season?
Yeah, we're finding ways to get wins. I would still like to see a little bit more control of games. I still think we're finding our game. Obviously, it's nice that we're winning and producing wins, but I still think that there's more there. There's more to be had. There's more urgency. Which is a good thing. I think it's that time of year where we need to ramp up, get ready to go. We're still playing for, positioning and all that, so still lots to be playing for.
Matthias said that, after the first period, you guys weren't super thrilled with things and had a little chat in here. What did you pull out of your game in the second that you'd maybe discussed?
I just thought, I'm not sure it was pulling anything out. I thought it was just, adding in a little bit of urgency, adding in a little bit of that work. For our group, it's always just skating and the details. When that slips, any team game is not going to be great. So we had to up our work, up our attention to detail, and I thought we did a good job of bouncing back in that second period.
We'll ask for 60 minutes of hockey 82 times a year, which is not realistic. You're not in the stretch run where there's 5 games left. There's still a handful of games. Is it unrealistic to look at your team and say, hey, 60 minutes every night, let's go?
No, it's not unrealistic. We expect that out of ourselves. That being said, we know there's no perfect game. There's no, there's never going to be 60 minutes of perfect hockey, mistake-free hockey. But with that being said, we expect the best of ourselves. We expect that at this time of year we're ramping up and getting ourselves ready to go.
2 more for Zach tonight. Just a thought on him getting closer to that 50-goal mark.
Yeah, it's great. I thought he was solid again. Did his thing at the net and finds a way to score a big goal there before the end of the period. That's a massive goal. It really is. So he's always in and around the net making things happen, and I thought he was good again.
He's 2 for 50 going into Toronto. Was there any thought about that, or does it really matter?
You know what? I'm sure he'll be asked about that between now and Saturday, but I would think that there's maybe something there. Of course, he's got close ties in Toronto. Grew up there, born and raised. Lots of friends and family that are going to be in the building. It would be, I think, special for him, but he might tell you otherwise. I don't know, but it'd be great to see him get there in Toronto.
A lot of the talk about Matthias Ekholm is about his defensive game. What about his offensive game? It's obviously come through the last couple games more than I ever.
Yeah, well, he skates so well. And any D-man that skates so well, they can do a good job of jumping up in the rush. I think you've seen that the last couple games. He's getting in behind his check, in behind forwards, and creating things. And any D-man that can skate like he can be real dangerous jumping into the rush.
Well, there's a couple games in a row where maybe at times you guys didn't bring your best, but you seem to be you're pulling points out. You got 4 points and 2 good lessons in a couple of games here.
Yeah. Nice to learn lessons and wins. With that being said, 2 games that could have gone the other way. They could have gone the other way, quite frankly, and we would be having a different conversation here today. So. Lots of lessons from those 2 here, and we need to bring it on the road against a real good Toronto team that's playing well, and on the rest of the road trip.
All right, McDavid 4 assists tonight, stoic in his response, and even keeled, +2, 4 hits, time on ice 1941, 40% on the dot. That is Connor McDavid in pursuit of 100 assists this season, only accomplished 3 other times, or by 3 other players all time, Lemieux, Gretzky, or maybe McDavid, probably McDavid. We shall see. Text us 780-218-9999. I want to get to a couple texts before we go back into the Oilers locker room. Calgary Glenn texting in says slow, sloppy start for the Oilers, but you could feel them slowly taking control of the game. That was a dominant third period. Ekholm was a beast all game. Nurse was solid. The third pairing could have been better. Calgary Glenn, good to hear from you. KL says, hey, Tommy, the D all played a strong game tonight, especially Nurse and Ekholm. I think Stetcher has to come in for CC when Desharnais is back. He's not bad without the puck, but anytime he gets the puck, his decision-making is too slow. That causes turnovers from nothing plays like the third goal. Happens quite often. Thoughts? KL, I pointed that out earlier. I agree with you. I want to give CC the benefit of the doubt. I think he's a serviceable defenseman. I think he's had a better year than he had last year. Cass has pointed it out a few times. Not all the goals this season are CC's fault. Sometimes when he was playing with Nurse, there were, as Cass alluded to, hard to read off of Nurse sometimes. Maybe Stetcher does a better job of reading off of Nurse. Maybe his way of seeing the game is more conducive to Nurse's game than CC's. That's a possibility. We'll see how Stetcher does with this little run here. And maybe it gets to the point where CC does sit and Stetcher's the guy. That could happen. Stetcher's a regular defenseman on most teams. He was in Arizona. He was in Vancouver. And I know he played for LA briefly, and he was with Calgary briefly as well. He was in Detroit prior to that. And we'll see how this goes. Maybe they find a groove together. Give it some time. The Oilers do have a bit of runway to figure that out. Thanks for the text, Kale. Jason the pharmacist says, Cass is rocking the house coat again tonight. It was a comfortable win. Cass looks good with the house coat. He was in daddy daycare mode tonight and then took care of business responsibly on the post-game show. The Liquid Beaver says Hyman is going to score 49 and 50 in Toronto on Saturday. Book it. Jimbo texting in says Hyman primed for his 50th ITO Saturday. Let's go. Coach Mike says, Tommy, can Nurse get to Ekholm's level, or is it impossible to compare them? Is Nurse at his ceiling at this point in his career? Coach Mike, I think Nurse can probably smarten up his game between the dots a little bit and not be as rambunctious. He is getting older as an NHL veteran. Maybe he can learn a thing or two still from Matthias Ekholm, but I think this year, for the most part, people after the first 5 weeks of the season look at Nurse overall and go, yeah, he's playing good. Now, they might add a caveat and say not $9.25 million per year good, but yeah, he's playing good, like 6.5 to 7.5 good. It's not your money. We know. We've talked about it so many times on this station and the old station. The money thing. The defenseman, is he serviceable? Can he do good things? Can he settle down? Yes. We'll see if he can do that consistently. Displaced Duke on our chiming in says, that was a fun game. Hyman gets to 50. Hockey Night Canada, Saturday. Probably. I like it. Positive vibes. I feel like a lot of Oiler fans are putting out positive vibes for Zach Hyman on Saturday. YouTube, Trev, who is left to get to?
Yeah, the quest for 50 continues with another 2-goal night out of Zach Hyman. Here he is.
How'd you feel about the game and just being able to elevate it in the third?
Yeah, not every game's going to be perfect. Sloppy start from us in the first period for sure. But like you said, it's nice to be able to respond and elevate your game and take a hold of it, towards the end of the second and the third.
Yourself at 48, next game's in Toronto. I'm going to ask you about, does that mean anything if be able to get 50 in Toronto for you?
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, it would be special, but I'm not focused on it. I'm sure I'll be asked about it a lot tomorrow and on Saturday. Obviously, have a look at it now, which is kind of cool to go into the game and you have an opportunity to do that. But really, I just want to win there. I don't think I've won there since I've been here. So it would be great to go in there and to win.
Matthias was saying that after the first, you guys weren't thrilled with the way things were going, had a little chat, and obviously it got a lot better after that. Just how important is it for you guys to be able to self-correct as a group like that? Extremely important.
I think as you go on, I think we've experienced it now. Having gone to the conference finals in the second round, like in the playoffs, things don't always go your way. There's so many good teams that you're not going to just sweep. You're going to go through some adversity, and in each game, even games you win, you're going to go through times where it's not going well, and the other team has momentum, or the other team's got a hold of the game, and you need to find a way to elevate your game and to kind of bring it back, and you can't. It doesn't just happen. It takes a year to figure out, how to do that, how to elevate your game, how to grab a hold of a game when things are going well, how to simplify a game. And I think we have a lot of guys in this locker room who have a lot of experience, and who can speak to it, and to wake the group up, and that we had that today.
So how close do you guys think you are to your ideal game as a team?
I mean, I think obviously we had a 16-game winning streak, so there was a stretch there where we couldn't lose, right? Or it felt like that at least. And I think that when the trade deadline goes, you get your team. Like, you have your team, you make additions. We made some great additions, and I think everybody's starting to get comfortable. And I think a couple 2 weeks to a month after the deadline, you're really trying to figure out what's your ideal lineup. Like what makes the most sense for your team, who should go where, what should happen. So I think that there's a sorting out process after the deadline, and I think these last, what do we have, 15 games left? I think that's where you really ramp up your game and you figure out, how you're going to win. And I think we have a really good sense of what our identity is and how we're going to win. And obviously that's speed and taking care of our own end. So I think we're in a good spot.
Does Ekholm have more offense than people give him credit for? When we play with Bouchard, I guess it's
Well, I hope it's not overlooked. He's got an unbelievable shot, first and foremost. Like, he's got one of the heavier shots, one of the heavier slap shots, I think you'll see. And I think you're right. Like, he's underrated in the regards to the way he moves on the blue line and creates space in the O-zone. Him and Bouch have such great chemistry, and reading off each other and making plays. And it really feels like, it's like a 5-man unit out there. With those two especially, they're just so dynamic. And obviously, Bouch runs the power play as well. So Bouchy's, he should be at least well regarded as one of the best two-way defenders in the league. I think he's taken that step to kind of put himself in that category, and I think Eki is one of the, likewise, when I played against him, he's one of the hardest players to play against, just with regards to his ability to shut down the other team's opponent, but then, like you said, has the ability to break the puck out, get in the rush, shoot the puck, make plays. I mean, the game before, he set up Rico, backside. He's done that a bunch, jumping in. So the two of them together, obviously, are an elite pair.
I might be reading it a little bit wrong, but it feels like a few of the goals you've scored lately, you've almost shaken your head afterwards, like you're just, whether it was the play that was made to you or just they keep going in, but it almost like this look of kind of like, I don't know, disbelief is the word, but are you feeling some of that out there?
I don't know. I mean, I think goal scoring has been pretty consistent this year, which in general, I think goal scoring can be inconsistent. Like, you can go through stretches of games, even the best goal scorers can go through stretches where you're just, for whatever reason, it's not going in. You're hitting posts or whatever the case may be. I've been fortunate, this year I've obviously been going to those areas and been playing with, pretty special players. So when they make one of those plays, maybe that's kind of where you're seeing me go, that's a pretty good play. Like, you put it on a tee for me. Thanks, So that's probably what you're seeing. But, today, obviously, Eki makes a great play. One goes off the glove and goes in, and then the other one, Connor just puts it right perfectly for me, and I was able to kind of step into it. But it's been a fun year, obviously, so we've got a lot of time left and a lot of time for this group. We're really excited about the group. So
that's Zach Hyman, goals number 47 and 48 on the season, in pursuit of 50. Can he get it done on Saturday in Toronto, his hometown, his former team? Hockey Night in Canada, that's going to be a big one. And I actually think he was a little bit, dare I say, taken aback when answering that question from our friend of EST, Derek Van Diest, about getting 50 in his hometown against his old team. It's special. No denying it whatsoever, and we'll see if he can make it happen Saturday night. 780-218-9999. Keep those texts coming in. Hyman, 2 goals, +2, 2 penalty minutes, 8 shots, 2 hits, 17:30 time on ice tonight. All right, let's get to our first order of business, and that is one of our newest features on the post-game show. It is the big save of the game, presented by Christopher Boyle, business owner and tax saver. Chris Boyle strategically works with both businesses and families with strategic planning and risk management, like a goalie protecting the net, shielding your paycheck from unforeseen events like illness or hospitalization, and ensuring your family's financial stability in the face of unexpected circumstances. For a chance to win playoff tickets, scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen. And if you're listening and cannot see the QR code, you can text in or check out ChristopherBoyle.net/postgame show. All of it is there. A chance to win playoff tickets, courtesy of Christopher Boyle. And the big save of the game, YouTube Trev, goes to who?
Okay, so bear with me here. This is the first time I'm doing this, and I kind of forgot about this new segment we're doing, so I apologize. It wasn't until the third period I text him like, am I doing that? He's like, yep. I'm like, okay, snap. So I forgot about a few of the saves, but so yeah, bear with me. I'm kind of fetching here, and we'll see how this plays out. I'll look for something else differently, or in the next game. But it was 4:38 into the third period where JJ Peterka, he goes to clear the zone, and Troy Stetcher, he saves the puck from leaving. It could have been an offside. It could have been an offside, but he saved it. He saved the puck from leaving the zone. He gives it to Darnell Nurse, which was the eventual game winner. And then right after that, it's 4-3, then it's 5-3, 6-3, 7-3, and apparently it was 8-3 too. So they scored 4 goals after, who knows? He doesn't save the puck there. It goes over. They have to reset and everything. Could have changed the game, a lot. So completely, right? So that's the word I was looking for. So that is my big save of the game. Next time it will be Stuart Skinner. I'll be keeping a keen eye out for that one. Or maybe the opposing goalie, but that's what I saw tonight, and I was like, you know what, I can make this work, and it's I think I did a okay job. So that's my thoughts.
I would say you did an excellent job with the big save of the game, brought to you by Christopher Boyle. Scan the QR code at the bottom right of your screen, or visit ChristopherBoyle.com, and you can enter to win some playoff tickets as the Oilers continue their march towards the postseason. I'd say you did great. You totally saved that segment of the show.
Oh, wow. I like what you did there. Thanks, Tommy.
That's a big save in itself. Well done, YouTube Trav. Do we have Chris Noblock? Are we going with Chris Noblock or no?
Yeah, we can if you like. Do you
have it?
Yeah, absolutely I do.
Okay, let's go with Chris Noblock for a bit here.
Right on. Here he is.
Slow start. You maybe picked up in the first period where you left off against Montreal, but you finished really strongly. How did you see the worm turning for you guys in this one?
Yeah, I thought we built a game. In the first period, we're down a little bit. I don't think we made many mistakes. I don't think it was that bad. Offensively, I thought we had some really good offense. Good looks around the net, some chances. I know Perry had 2 or 3 deflections around the net. And that line was our best line the first period, Henrique's. And we're down 2, which was by far our worst period, but I don't think it was terrible. It just got better. I thought we played a little more urgency. I thought we finished our checks, made it a little more difficult on Buffalo, and it just allowed us to play our game.
So the playoffs are getting closer and closer, and it's hard for people not to kind of look ahead to that. Is that mindset something that you kind of have to manufacture in this late in the season?
We're getting close. About thinking about playoffs. There's still probably when we hit April 1st, it'll probably be a different story. Right now, I think we are starting to dial it in, starting to get more focused on what's ahead of us. The chase in the standings, we haven't talked about. We don't post it. We just want to win our next game. But I think we know what's at stake, and we'll definitely be ready at the time we need to.
Is there something about the simple, direct manner in which both Ekholm and Hyman, 2 additions to this organization, play? Their commitment and their role maintenance. Just a thought of get up on a daily basis and how they can turn games because the way that.
Well, so much of the game is about winning battles, making an easy pass, things that don't take any talent. And those 2 are so good at it. Just win their battles, being in the right position defensively. And so their on-ice performance is so beneficial to our team's success every single night. But it's also what they do for the other guys in the team and just helping them, and whether that's with emotional support or just leading by example, whatever. But those 2 are very valuable for us.
All right, that was Chris Noblock following his team's 8-3 victory over the Buffalo Sabres. 780-218-9999. You can text us. Tom Gazzola live on location, Hudson's White Avenue. It's getting quieter. It is Thursday night. Bit chilly, lots of snow today. We need the precipitation. Obviously, it's been pretty dry, but winter is still reminding us it is not going out without a fight. However, the Oilers tonight put down the Buffalo Sabres handily with 5 goals in the third period. All right, we've got one more order of business to get to, and that, of course, is the Damon Bunting Remax Elite Player of the Game. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian Remax realtors. He and his team love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. And once again, we dive into the EST studios and visit YouTube. Trev looking around like he's confused. He knocked it out of the park with the big save of the game. Can he do it again with the player of the game? YouTube Trev.
That is the question, Tommy. So I didn't do pre and post the previous game where they played the Montreal Canadiens, but Matthias Ekholm had a hell of a night that night. I don't usually do this, but I can't not do this. Matthias Ekholm, he was just notably the best. You could say one of the best players, definitely the best defenseman for the Oilers this game. Thought he was lights out, and it's crazy. They've had him for over a year now. Like, since they've had him, he leads the NHL in plus-minus since they've acquired him with plus 62. So just an unbelievable story. I remember when the Oilers first got him, it was, Chikrin was in the mix. There was a few players, and all of a sudden Matthias Ekholm was a guy, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is the guy they go for. A little bit, underrated, like especially when you got the likes of Roman Josi or the team he was playing for, right? But man, I'm every game I watch him, I'm just more and more impressed. Him and Bouchard, they're right up there with one of the best defensive pairings in the league. You can look at the numbers. A lot of people are saying, the numbers is one thing. You can look at them and it backs it up. But even just watching them, they're so comfortable right now together. Definitely, don't split those guys up. You can't. They just read off each other so well. And the defensive end, and even tonight, they're just setting each other up for one-timers. It's super impressive to watch. So, yeah, without a doubt, 2 goals again tonight. Probably just such a satisfying goal. Both of them were really, really nice goals. So, yeah, out of be Matthias Ekholm. You were, without a doubt, Damon Bunting, player of the game. Good job.
All right, Ekholm, the Damon Bunting Remax Elite Player of the Game. Nicely done, YouTube Trev. 780-218-199.99. We're going to dip into the inbox as we wind things down. If you want to get a text in, slide it in. And then nasty chat, play nice, boys, like Chief Wiggum would say. ELE, everybody love everybody in the nasty chat. It's nasty in name only. Dolphin Nation texts in, says, the barn was rocking tonight. I felt like I watched 2 different games. I'm exhausted. Guys, that wave with the 2-goal lead. No, thank you. I did not participate. Dolphin Nation texting that in. Mike in Thunder Bay says, I almost turned this game off in the first period. Did not expect it to be an Oilers blowout with Connor Brown cherry on top. Zach Hyman, 50 in Toronto. Absolutely going to happen Saturday. McDavid only needs 14 assists in the next 15 games. He is about to join elite company when he does. What a night. I'm going to bed happy. Hope all of you do too. That's from Mike in Thunder Bay. Colorado Rusty texting in says, goals count off your hand. WTF is Connor get the Art Ross boys. And I've said it before. We'll say it again. Ekholm, best D-man in town since Pronger. Thank you, Colorado Rusty, from the text. Shaggy in St. Albert says, good win, but not to sound like a wet blanket. Another bad start. Again, a struggle going into the third period. Dominated third period like they should have starting the game. Feels like it was going to be a flip of the coin that either they were going to take over in the third or going to get outworked like they were against Montreal. Fortunately, they played much, much better in the third period than they did against Montreal on Tuesday. Thanks for the text, Shaggy. This text says, Stetcher's ability to pass the puck on the tape every single time is underrated in his play. Peter texting in says, Tommy, I noticed tonight that the D-men were jumping up in the play a lot, creating chances once again. Loved Ekholm's game tonight. Also, do you think the Oilers will scratch CC at any point? Peter, I kind of touched on it. I think if Stetcher continues to play well, they might try it. I also think they might rest guys in the last 10 games of the season. I've been told to expect Broberg to get a look potentially, or they want to get Broberg a look. So we could see some different combinations in the last 10 games of the year on the back end. So, Peter, there is a chance that they could scratch CC. Rest, performance, we shall see. He's got some time to work, and we'll see what Stetcher can do with his playing time. And Desharnais should be ready to go pretty soon. Big Dave texting and says, game was off to a shaky start. They certainly finished strong. Story of the game has to be Connor Brown scoring goal number 2. The man is super now. Don't want to brag, but called it about 5 seconds before it happened. Big Dave. This one says, Buffalo's third goal was on section 210 for starting the wave. I love how people are pointing out which section is starting the wave. That's the second texter that pointed out 210. Shame on you, 210. Shame on you, 210. If my buddy Jamie is the one who started in section 210, double shame on him, because he's that guy that has a few too many and gets the wave going at the most inopportune time. This one comes in from Dave. Says, going into tonight's game, Connor McDavid had not scored 3 or more points on only one team, the Sabres. Cue the, and I took that personally meme, Dave. And he sends in the Michael Jordan, and I took that personally meme. H.E. Pennypacker. Hey, H.E. Pennypacker. Good to hear from you. Says, hey, boys, do the Oilers' breakouts look smoother, more effective under the new coaching staff? They do to me. Yes, H.E. Pennypacker. There are nights, though, where they are a little bit sloppy, and those are the nights Gager says he can tell that they're not going to have a good game. When they do have clean breakouts, especially early, and they get into a rhythm, generally it works out. And as we've seen for the most part since mid-November, that has led to victories. Cards texting in says, good evening, fellas. He sent in good morning at first, then corrected himself. Longtime listener here. I'm going to be cycling $150K in June to raise funds for multiple sclerosis. I was wondering if EST would like to make a donation on its behalf, whether it's $1 or $10. Anything makes a difference, gets us one step closer to finding a cure for this awful disease. Appreciate you, fellas. I could provide the link if needed. Cheers, Cards. Good to hear from you. We will get in touch. Remind us, send us a text. I'll send you the email to send us a text, and maybe we can help you out with that for sure. And I absolutely love that you're doing that. And 150K, that is grueling, my friend. I will shoot you a note right away. Thank you for bringing that up, though. All right, a couple more here as we wrap up. Connor Brown, heating up just at the right time. No name on that text. Fat Dan says, Connor Brown scored again? Who does he think he is? Michael Pekka? Fat Dan, nicely done. This one says, Matt talking about Hyman getting his 50th in Toronto on Saturday is making my pants tight. I'm not sure what's happening. No name on that text. Made me laugh. Well played. Well played. Juan says, how close to 1,000 points is McDavid by the end of the season? Well, where's McDavid right now? Look it up here. We've got his career stats. Scroll down. Coming into action tonight, he had 958, add 4 assists, give him 962, 38 points away. He could get about 20 more, right? He could be about 15 or so away, right? I think we can agree with that. He'll get it early next season. How about that? Bronx says, Dusty's already at Cook. Yeah, no surprise. Eden texting and says, hey, boys, solid win tonight. Can't help but feel like Kane's confidence is somewhere near where the Titanic is resting. Constantly around success, but can't seem to make the play or bury his chance. Yeah, he's got to figure it out. A couple of looks tonight, I guess, but I think what did he have? 3 points in the last month. That is not good enough, especially playing in the top 3 lines. This one I love. 2 in a row, dickheads. What a game. Thank you. You are consistent, sir. You are consistent. No name on that text. Andrew in London says, shoot the puck. See what happens, fellas. Former London Knight Evan Bouchard looking as good as his former junior team right now, sitting first in the couple nice recoveries, always distributing the puck at an elite level. Former Knight Sam Gagner, got to be loving it too. Andrew from London. The Reverend says, how do you guys think Stetcher looks in his first few games? More and more comfortable, the Reverend. That's how I would describe Stetcher. And then Hontorio Momes says, how many goals did Holland have to sacrifice for Hyman? I say 18. People don't give Holland enough credit for Ekholm. He traded for a number 1 D-man. Wild, says Hontorio Momes. And then one more here. It says, Tommy, love the show. At the game tonight with my daughter. Big win. She loves the atmosphere of the games. That's from Justin. Justin, that's fantastic to see. Great photo there. It was South Asian Appreciation Night. Saw Tony Brar and Hunter in the garb. They look great. And an absolutely phenomenal Oilers logo that was created for the night too. And I do really appreciate and like the fact that the Oilers are doing nights like this. Very cool. Keep it up. Inclusivity is very important, especially with a growing community like ours and a diversifying community like ours. We have a great town, and our newcomers are just making it better. There's always going to be crappy people, but I would say 9 out of 10 that are coming into our city from wherever are absolutely fantastic, and the Oilers are a rallying cry and something that everybody can get behind. So that is a good thing. Positivity, ELE, everybody love everybody. I like it, especially on a night where the Oilers give their fans a lot to cheer about. The city's happy on a chilly Thursday night. 8-3 is the final. Edmonton searching a third straight victory, kicking off a road trip Saturday night against the Toronto Maple Leafs. We are live on location once again from right here at Hudson's White Avenue. Come join us, the entire EST crew, and some of the nasties, as well as some of the locals from White Ave. There's some different cats down here, I'll say that. I have some GCs. I'll have a freshly printed batch, the glue guy says, for Saturday. So that will do it for the Oil Stream post-game show. For YouTube Trev and Matt Kassian, I am Tom Gazzola saying thank you as always for watching and listening. We appreciate you. We will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone.